Hello, my friends. Welcome back to 3DS Cast, my new podcast about the 3DS line of gaming handhelds. And today I want to talk about uh, an often maligned, yet unsung hero of the family, the original 2DS. Uh, it, so, Side note, this podcast is not only for people who already know and love the 2DS, but I'm also hoping to reach people who are curious about the 3DS line of gaming handhelds and give them advice and whatnot, maybe on how to enter the family. And what I want to do with this particular episode is to convince folks, maybe new to the family, why the 2DS is not only a great entry point to the 3DS ecosystem, but also an amazing gaming value on its own. Um, so I want to talk about a little bit of the history of the 2DS. I keep wanting to say 3DS. I got to make sure I say 2DS. The original 2DS, which is the one I'm talking about today, not the new 2DS XL, not that thing. I'm talking about the original doorstop slab 2DS. Came out in 2013, a couple of years after the original 3DS, and it was fairly maligned at the time. People didn't really understand why it was being released, but I think Nintendo made a genius move because one of the weakest points of the 3DS models are the hinges. There are a lot of cables that go through the hinges. People pick up their systems roughly, they drop them. The hinges are maybe one of the weakest points of the entire family, except the original 2DS because it has no hinges. It is just a flat slab of a thing. I've got mine here. Uh, but there are many upsides to the 2DS, which I do want to talk about today. In the hopes, I know I keep saying, I know, I'm sorry. It's as I gather my thoughts. So I want to talk about several upsides to the 2DS and why I think if you're new to the family, you should get this. But even if you have a 3DS, because I have a lovely 3DS, new 3DS XL, I still wanted a 2DS because once I held it in my hand, it was so comfortable. It just felt right. So we're going to talk about that and a bunch of other things. Now, after the brief history, people are more and more discovering this treasure that is the 2DS, and you can see that in the prices. When I bought mine a month ago, a little more than a month ago as I record this, I got mine for $90, and that was with no charger or case. I didn't need a charger because I already have plenty, and case is $10, so whatever. So I got this for 90, and in looking at price charting around that time, it that seemed reasonable. But things have gone up a little bit. Now the loose price, as I look at price charting on July 10th, 2026, the loose price is about $100 for this. So prices have gone up a little bit, and I think people on eBay kind of are understanding what they have because I am seeing higher prices than normal on eBay. Like when I got this a month ago, I looked at eBay just out of curiosity to see if I had a good deal, and I had. They were around 190, $80. Now I'm seeing 120, 130, 140 with a case. So they've gone up a little bit. Well, there's 105. But I mean, if you look around, uh, and Facebook Marketplace is kind of all over the map too. There's 160 there, 110 for the one I have, the black and blue one there. So prices are going up a little bit. And so once I saw that, I was like, I should start telling people about this so they can get one. So what is some of the great things about the 2DS? Well, the first one I just kind of talked about is the affordability. 3DSs right now are very expensive for the age. Let's be honest, they're very expensive for the age of the hardware. These things are at oldest 15 years old, um, at youngest, well, 10 to 12 years old, at youngest. And so electronics fail, electronics wear, paint chips, all these things happen, but still, people are asking for 3DSs hundreds of dollars. I got my Galaxy new 3DS for $200, and I feel lucky about that because I knew the person who was selling it. But that's the thing I always say, if you're looking for a new console, ask friends and family first. But this still, even with its slightly raised prices than when I got mine a month ago, it's still the most affordable entry into the amazing ecosystem that is DS and 3DS, and I guess Game Boy Advance games too. But let's just talk about the DS and 3DS libraries. I mentioned that in a previous podcast as to why I love the 3DS. It's got a massive, varied, deep, and amazing library that I think is only matched maybe by the PlayStation 2. I don't think any other console matches the sheer depth and variety of the DS and 3DS library. I mean, again, I've said this before, but you got every type of game you can think of, from pet games to rhythm games to flight games to strategy games to lots and lots of role playing games to racing games to strategy. It's just so many. I think I said strategy. So many different types of experiences and games you can have on the 3DS. And so the 2DS gives you an amazing entry point into that library. And yes, you can get an emulator, probably maybe around the same price that lets you play these things, but it's not the same as the original hardware. Emulators can be finicky, emulators can be tricky, emulators can fail. To me, with a library like this, the library like the DS and the 3DS, it it deserves to be played on original hardware. And the 2DS here, excuse me, is probably the best entry point you can get if you want access to the DS and 3DS libraries. And that's over 3,000 games. Just a ton of not only the big ones like Mario and Pokemon and all those things, but just like my current obsession, Yokai Watch, Fantasy Life, Tomodachi Life, Animal Crossing New Leaf, just to name a few stellar games on this platform. The 2DS has, by its nature, an amazing library that just is, I think, again, almost unmatched. And for about $100, you get access to that in a very comfortable, and I will say, a portable package. And we're going to talk about its portability because a lot of times when I suggest this to people online and whatnot, they're like, "Oh, it's so big, I can't put it in my pocket." Ooh. Who cares? Put it in a case, put it in a bag. We're all going to be carrying bags eventually. I went from carrying no bags to having a backpack as my wallet, but but it is still smaller than a Switch. It is smaller than a Steam Deck. It is smaller than a Rogue Ally. It is smaller than a lot of the bigger handhelds you will find. I mean, they're Android handhelds. They're this small. But again, for the sheer value and variety of games you can get on this thing, it's very portable. It fits in my bag easily. It fits next to my bedside very easily. It is very, very, very portable and wonderful. And I could take this anywhere. Now, to be fair, the 2DS is my model that stays at home. It's my bedside machine. I play a little bit of Pokemon on it every night. And you're like, Brian, it's more durable than the 3DS. Yeah, but the 3DS is like my main because it has my original Nintendo ID on it. It's like it's it's my soul. It's my identity. Uh, that one's my identity. That's why I take the 3DS out of the house. Very well protected, by the way. But the 2DS could easily fit in my backpack and go with me anywhere, go on a plane, on a road trip, whatever. It is a wonderful device. And one of the benefits of its design is its durability. I broached on this previously, but because it doesn't have a hinge, which again is one of the big weak points of the other 3DSs and the new 2DS XL, because it doesn't have a hinge, it's a lot more durable. Now, this was originally made for younger players who are a little rougher with their machines, and you could see that in some of the online listings for the ones that are for sale. They're scuffed up, the screens are scratched to heck, but if you find a good one, this thing just fits in your hand. We'll talk about comfort a bit, comfort too. This thing just fits in your hand so well. It's it's kind of like the Game Boy Advance in that way. I really liked how the Game Boy Advance, the original one, felt in the hand. And so this has a similar vibe to it when you hold it in your hand. And because it doesn't fold, it's got a sleep switch, a slider really. So I've said before, sleep mode is one of the huge benefits of the 3DS line. And because this can't fold, it's got a sleep switch right here. It uses regular SD cards, not micro SD cards, and it's very easy to get to the micro SD port on this one, unlike the new 3DS XL, because you got to unscrew the back of that thing. This one's just you open the side, boom, there it is. I don't know if you heard that. That's me opening my little door there. Um, so it's comfortable, it's versatile, it's durable, and it's affordable. And I mean, there are some downsides to it that I want to talk about real quick. If you really care about 3D, obviously there is none because it's in the name. But that was one of the cost cutting measures that made this thing was that they took out the 3D. I never used really the 3D anyway, even on my 3DS, so that's fine. Two, the other to me big downside is it only has one speaker. It's got a mono speaker instead of two stereo speakers like on the other models, which is not the biggest deal. It's got a headphone jack if you want stereo, so that's not a big deal. I mean, an actual headphone jack, you guys. Remember those? Um, so some might see that as a downside. It doesn't bother me at all. The upsides, like I've said before, plus one of the upsides is I think it's got the best shoulder buttons in the entire family. Like they curve around they curve around the top and sides of the system, so your fingers just rest there normally. This is such, again, a comfortable system to hold. I think the upsides to this clearly outweigh any minor downsides you can think of. And like the rest of the family, very easily moddable. Because I had already modded something, because I had already modded my 3DS about a month prior, it took about maybe 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes to mod this, following the 3DS hacks guide. Excuse me, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And yeah, it was very easy to mod, copy my some of my games over, that sort of thing. Or dump them, as I should say, dump them from my cartridges. So I think, even with cheaper Android handhelds out there, I still think this is one of the best values in all of gaming because of the durability, because of the affordability, and because of the library. I have a hard time thinking that you could do better than a 2DS. I'd say even if you have a 3DS, you should get a 2DS because they're wonderful little devices. You can have them as a backup or just a separate machine. Like I was going to give this to my wife because I'm like, oh, maybe she'd like to play on it. Nintendo games are great and they're not hard to get into, but she said no, so it's mine. Um, so it's a wonderful machine for I think just about anybody that's interested in gaming. You guys hear my cat? I don't know if you can hear my cat. She's meowing back there. Lizzie, not right now. Oh, boy. I'll go see what's up with her in a moment. But sorry. Lizzie, I'm podcasting. Lizzie. Sorry. So, yeah, I feel that even if you have a 3DS, a 2DS is a worthwhile investment for its durability, its reliability, its comfort, it's the variety of games you can put on it. Just astounding. Just astounding. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I had a little extra time. So I thought I'd shoot this one out. This one's important to me because I think the 2DS is so valuable and so important uh, that I wanted to get this out there so people can start looking for their own before prices go up even further. And I wanted to tell you, I've got a lot planned. I was given a list of names of people I should contact for interviews. So thank you for that. I forget the name of the person who gave it to me. I'm so sorry. But thank you for that. I've got a list of topics that I'm going to cover. I'm going to start reaching out to people soon to see if they'll want to come on to talk to me. But I'm excited to do this thing. I'm very excited to do this thing because I can do it whenever I want. It's my own schedule. I don't have to worry about anybody else. And these are short. These are short because it's just me talking. And I'm just excited to talk about this wonderful family of devices, the games, and eventually the people who keep this family going in the homebrew community. So thank you so much for listening, for hanging out with me. I've got more planned, like I said, and I hope you have a lovely day and happy gaming, happy, joyful gaming. Take care, everybody.